ascendant.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Smrtisputi Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Om Sri Tapovana Sishyaya Namaha Hari Om Hari Om. Today we are starting Chandogya Upanishad, chapter number 6. A few people have questioned me, why chapter number 6? Why not chapter number 1? So, very briefly, first to fifth, these 5 chapters primarily focus on karma and upasana. Karma means religious injunctions involving activities invoking God and related rituals. Upasana means meditating on God, taking Him as the support, but considering Him as an entity who gives you the necessary purification in the mind, or if you have some desires, fulfills your desires. So in Upasana, your mind has certain degree of connection to a higher, and it's only two. Whereas in karma, you have individuality, ego, and also have a result in mind, and also you perform activities. It could be sakama or with desires or without nishkama, means for purification primarily. Nishkama karma liberates, purifies the mind. So, as per Shastra, we have 3 defects. One is called avarana, means ignorance of our true nature. Avarana. Mala. Mala means strong likes and dislikes, highly egocentric impurities, like likes, dislikes, raga, dvesha, desires, anger, greed, arrogance, and jealousy primarily. These are malas. This is impurities. They separate us from our true nature, mala. And vikshepa means restlessness of the mind. Even if you are on vacation, you feel jittery. Even if you have everything perfect around you, jittery. You're sitting in this class, somehow your hands are going this way, that way. Mind is, of course, obviously behind the hands. This is called Vikshepa. Now, karma gives you I already mentioned karma and upasana. So I'm connecting that now with these three things I just mentioned. Karma, which is the activity which gives you discipline, and also it has to be based in ethics. If it is not based on ethics, suppose you want to hurt somebody and you do some evil prayers, that's not unethical. That's right. But here ethics are number one. Then karma, coupled with discipline and also involving yourself physically and also surrendering yourself for a particular physical, mental, or heavenly purposes. You put sacrifices like yajna, nowadays puja. So that gives you, reduces mala, because you apply yourself with discipline, and that continues in your daily life. So ethics along with karma yoga in particular, not just rituals, but offering to higher purpose for a common cause, selfless karma. What it does is it reduces impurities like desires, anger, greed, delusion, arrogance, and then jealousy. You are working for a common cause, karma yoga. Karma becomes yoga when it is connected to a higher cause with surrender of Bhagavan. So, so malas, impurities get reduced through karma yoga and ethical life. Number one. Now, other thing is vikshepa. Vikshepa is restlessness, as I said. Restlessness reduces if you do upasana or meditation on a purer presence in you, as though all pervading also. So you connect your peaceful, quiet mind to a pious, peaceful presence which you attributed to Bhagavan. So you and God are two principles that you have. One you consider to be all powerful, and you are his relation either as a friend or as a devotee or whatever Navavidha Bhakti are there, like that you are connected with him. Friend. So that is Upasana. What Upasana does is it gives you concentration, ekagrata, and frees you from vikshepa, restlessness. Now, if you, with that state of purity and self-sufficiency to certain extent, where you can concentrate and feel a certain degree of freedom inside your heart, you listen to Sravana, Manana, and Nitidhyasana. Sravana means this now Upanishad Sravana, Vedanta Sravana. That's what we are now talking. Vedanta Sravana, I will explain further, gives you knowledge of yourself. Earlier, there are two identities, you and God. Here now, there is a knowledge that Vedanta Shravana reveals to you that there is an identity between these two principles. Jiva means individual, Ishvara means the God. There is certain common identity, which is the topic of this Upanishad also. That is, you listen to that Shravana. Now, after you listen to it, you do reflection. In fact, this Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, it has 9 sections focusing on reflection. First 7 sections focus on Bhagavan and creation in the Vedantic context. 8th section focus upon us, and then the identity between these two is mentioned in the 8th section, and then several examples are given from 9th section to 16th section to connect, to remove the doubts. Nithidhyas, manana. Manana means remove doubts. As soon as somebody says there is an identity between you and a higher principle surrounding that creates this whole universe, obviously it's a shock. That now several questions will come. That is called manana. Tandeha nivurti. Manana means reflection. Reflection. Nitidhyasana, last step. Nitidhyasana means that owning that identity without doubt. What Nitidhyasana Sravana does is it removes the ignorance that I do not know. Intellectually, it removes the ignorance. I do not know. How do I know? I am a principle. As a principle, I am connected to the infinite. But as a ignorant, limited entity, not as a principle, I am separate. So how do I get rid of this? First, you learn you are one as a principle with the infinite. And number 2, then you think about it. And then thinking about removes the doubts. And finally, the last step is Nitidhyasana, owning it. What does owning mean in this context? You remove the Viparita Buddhi. Viparita Buddhi means I am this limited individual. That separation which is born in our society from ego is born, from the time ego is born, that gets destroyed. That destruction removes the first problem. So there are 3: avarana, mala, vikshepa. Avarana means the covering is removed. So this process, the last step is what we are here in the discussion here. Sravana, manana, nididhya. That's what it is. Hopefully, many of us have done ethical life, led ethical life, and we have done some social work and also do some daily worship or have relationship with a personal deity, upasana. So whatever I said made sense to you. If it made sense to you, then you are a upasya. You have done certain upasana already. Fundamentally, a person who has done upasana has a clarity that purpose of life is bigger than this, there's a bigger principle than this, and he feels the connection with it through meditation. When he's quiet, he can feel that there is something higher. But ignorance is still there. You have not yet connected that you are that yet. That will be removed by this Sravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. Okay. So this Sravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana part is called Vedanta. Vedanto Nama Upanishad. That's the definition. Vedanta means Upanishad. Now, what is Upanishad? It has three words: Upa, Ni, Shat. That is simple. Very simple preliminary explanation that we learned in the beginning is Upa means near, Ni means below, Shat means sit. The teaching that Guru imparts to the student when you sit near him with Shraddha. So here there is some implied things we have to connect. Upanishad Vidya is only possible through a student who has Shraddha. Upa ni, sitting near below, it means. We have Shraddha, respect. For what? For Guru and Shastra, which Guru is teaching. Shat means sit. This is a basic definition, which is wonderful definition. And it's sufficient for many of the purposes. But Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives a little bit of advanced definition in Kathopanishad. In his introduction to Kathopanishad, he gives a little advanced definition. So he gives the definition of Sat. So he says Upa Ni means Brahma Vidya. Upa means closest. Ni means Nishchayana. What is the closest? You. You are closest for all of your activities. Without you, your activities don't start. That principle is Upani. You, as yourself, before your mind starts, before your agitation starts, before your mala and vikshepa start, that you, Upa. Ni, sad. Sadeha dhatu, he gave three meanings. Gati, Upasharana. Suddenly, Gati, Visarana, and Apasadana. Suddenly, I skipped my mind. I wanted to pick Gati, Avasadana, and Visarana. He gives three meanings. Gati means connecting with the infinite in this context. Upani, that Brahman, principle of Brahman. Gati, connecting with it. How is it possible? If you undo all your conditioning, that you are so and so, you are so and so, you are so and so, which you have added on, but you are not original. So Visarana means destroying that conditioning, samsaric conditions. Avasadana means neutralize all worries about attachments, what will happen to that, what will happen to what will happen to the body, what is death. All these things are imposed through ignorance. So Avasadana neutralizes all those worries. Gati means connects with you. This is Bhagavan Shankaracharya. He explains the Vyakarana derivation of this in his commentary. I don't want to go to the Vyakaranic definition. I have it, but I want to go into that one. So that is the basic. Now, how does he do this? How does Upanishad does this? For all sections of society, three important factors are important. So you need to your pramana. For any piece of knowledge, you need pramana. Prama means knowledge. Pramana means to get that knowledge. Pramana. So pramana is required for any piece of knowledge to be transmitted and to see something, to learn something. Like eye is a pramana for objects of form. Ear is a pramana for object of sounds. Mind is a pramana for analysis. So Brahman, the pramana for Brahman is Shastra. Knowledge imparted in Vedanta, Shastra, Upanishads. Veda Pramana. Vedanto Nam Upanishad. So this knowledge that is being transmitted is the Pramana for Brahmajnana. It's Shabda Pramana because you are hearing that's the. Then you have to use Yukti. So Shruti, Yukti, logic. So this is Shastra. Vedantonam Upanishad Shastra. Shastra means all these three factors will be there. It will give you pramana. Pramana, science is a Shastra. It will give you the means of knowledge, pramana. Then it will give you yukti, logic, how to apply the knowledge. Then it has an experimentation. In the context of the Upanishad, anubhuti, experience, is the final confirmation. Anubhuti, it is called, experience. In the scientific field, experimentation. Here in the Vedanta Shastra, experimentation is done also. In this particular Chandogya Upanishad, there are few experiments that will be shown. How to unearth you out of your ignorance. So yukti is involved, anubhuti means experience is involved, and then pramana is involved. Means of knowledge is involved. So I have to acknowledge the grace of our Guru Parampara, starting from Sadashiva to our Guru in the back, who have taken the trouble to sustain this knowledge for time immemorial. Because apparently Sadashiva Samarambham, this knowledge is eternally present. It was never destroyed in spite of so many attacks on our civilization, because they perpetuated despite several threats. That's why in the beginning we invoked them. That's why. So that we are very thankful to their Sampat tradition. So what we are teaching is traditionally passed on through Guru Shishya Parampara. Anubhuti is also part of this. Logic, and then Shastra Pramana, and then Anubhuti. It is you as you are, but how do you undo it? Is clearly, slowly, and steadily explained. Now, Chandogya Upanishad, I have explained. It's a Shastra. It has a means of communication, experience, and logic involved in this. And if you follow this, it releases you from samsara. Samsara means your imagined attachments, bondages. It releases you if you do it with Shraddha. That's Upanishad. Okay, it's a science. Now, Chandogya Upanishad. The word Chandogya we have to take now. The word Chandogya comes from word Chandas. Chandas means Veda. Where we have Tattva, Brahma Tattvam is also in Vedanta, where Brahma Tattvam. Now, Chandogaha is a word coming from Chandas. Chandogaha means person who sings Veda. It's called Chandogaha. Chandaha Gayati iti Chandogaha. Chandogaha. Now, Chandogaha means then related to that particular Veda which is sung. This is Sama Veda. Chandogya means product of Sama Veda. Chandogya Upanishad is a Upanishad that came out of Sama Veda. Only Sama Veda is sung. There are 4 Vedas: Ruk, Sama, Yajur, Atharva. Ruk Veda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda are not. They are not. They don't do it in a singing form. Singing means there is some samatva. There is Shruti, Laya, Tala. There are certain factors are there. All are to be observed. Some consistency there. Whereas others are just patha. Patha means you chant it and you follow some rules of uh, intonation, swara. That's, so, but Chandogya, whereas the Samaveda has a some Shruti, Laya, Tala are have to be maintained there. So those we learn the Samaveda singing and all that is not available in most of them. But of course, in the pravachan, it's not necessary. It's necessary to mainly give the content. So that is accepted by the Sampradaya. Content is more important. We are not showing any talents of singing, but and actually I don't, nor the people don't even have, do not even know now. Most of it is lost. So, but content is there. Okay, that's important. Okay, now Chandogya Upanishad, understood. Okay, now we have done 3 Upanishads before. This is my 4th Upanishad class as a part of this, as a team, where we are, God has given me opportunity to share a little bit of what I know. First, we did Kena Upanishad. That Kena Upanishad is from Samaveda. Then we did Mundaka Upanishad. That is from Atharva Veda. Then we did Kathopanishad. That is from Yajurveda. Yajurveda. Now this is again Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 6 we are doing, which is from the Samaveda again. Okay, so the Chandogya Upanishad. Now each Upanishad has what we call Shantipatha. Shantipatha is an invocatory message which is sung or which is chanted before the Upanishad class starts. Okay, so we will start now with the Shantipatha for Chandogya Upanishad. Please show Shantipatha if you have it ready. Right. So I will chant. All of you just watch it. You probably, I sent it to some of you this already, so you may want to just, if you're looking at it, that's fine. But I will chant. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramadho Balamindriyani cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranam Nastvanirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Nirate Yaupanishatsu Dharmaha Te Mai Santu Te Mai Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I will chant again. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Prak Pranaschakshushrotramadho Balamindriyani cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharmaha Te Mai Santu Te Mai Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Now I will explain the meaning. Om. The word Om has an unbelievable value in our scriptures. So it itself is a topic. But in the context here, for simplicity, that which supports all possibilities, either with or without gunas, in which all of these things arise, dance, and disappear, yet it remains. That is the eternal principle in which everything happens and yet untouched by it. With or without forms. With forms means the universe, without form means existence, consciousness. That is Om. Pure, aware being that appears as many and yet untouched by multiplicity. This is simple. So many of you who have been attending Upanishad classes kind of connect it very well. Let's briefly, let us move on with this. Now, apyayantu mamangani. So you don't need to show it now. I will explain. So when they look at me, maybe they'll understand better. So let's go back to, I have to put spotlight on me. Apyayantu mamangani. Our word apyayantu means strengthen or protect. What? Mama angani. All my senses and parts, limbs. Apyayantu. It's offering to a higher principle that we are aware. We are acknowledging the higher principle and at the same time saying, hey, principle, apyayantu mamangani, all parts of me. Now he's clarifying that. What are they? Vak, speech, pranaha, life principle, chakshuhu, eyes, srotram, ears, adho plus balam, strength, indriyani cha sarvani, as well as all indriyas of perception and action, sarvani. Apyayantu, please protect them and make them stronger. Upanishad is talking about this. Subraji, you have given so much introduction. Right away, you have just started talking about me, my body, and my mind. It's exactly how it works. You have to have strong body and mind and healthy to listen, to apply. And Upanishad recognizes its value. You are the pramata. Pramata means knower. As a intellectually, you are a pramata. But the pramata is supported by the body, mind, and this comes in Chandogya Upanishad, by the way. It actually comes in one of the sections. The teacher tells the student, student keeps on asking questions. His name is Swetaketu. The teacher tells the student, okay, this is all subtle. There is a subtle body behind this gross body. It's a complex. It has to work together in order to execute or survive and exert. You need that togetherness. So he does not seem to be convinced. Then he tells his son, it comes in one of these actions, but I want to make it interesting. He tells his son, for 16 days, don't eat, but drink plenty of water. Because water is the life force. And in Upanishad comes, water gives the prana, The subtlest part of the water becomes prana. It comes in the Upanishad. And he actually follows that. 15th day, 16th day he comes. Then he asks him, now chant Chandogya, chant Rigveda. He says, I don't remember. Yajurveda, I don't remember. Because the subtle body supports the memory. The subtle body supports the retention. Subtle body supports the walk. Then he says, okay, drink, eat well, then come back. Eat well. Then he says, he remembers. So he said like, there are 16 components, 15 are gone, only one component is left. That's why you are survived, you are alive. Now everything will come back to you. So subtle body, so that is what it is proven as experiment in the Chandogya. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. Next. This whole thing, Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. Brahma plus Upanishadam. Brahma Upanishadam. Upanishadam means Upanishadic Brahma. Sarvam. The whole thing is nothing but Brahman. Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. As soon as I said the whole thing is Upanishadic Brahman means you are not there. Jagat is not there. Only Brahman is there. Such a Brahman, Maham Nirakuryam. May not outright from the beginning itself I reject because my intellectual stupidity intervenes. So the student here should have the attitude, Maham Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam on one hand, and then at the same time, even though you do not have logically yet have experienced it, Nirakuryam, I would not reject it. Ma Brahma Nirakarot. Then the student is also praying, may not that infinite principle that pervades everything, harmless, all pervading principle, may it not reject me also. Mama Brahma Nirakarot. So here you have to understand that principle has no will other than you as yourself, as all pervading presence. But he's right now, he's imagining as something separate. That's okay. The surrender. Maham Brahma Anirakaranam me astu. Anirakaranam me astu. Again is repeating. May we not reject it, please. May we not reject it, please. And in addition to that, he's adding Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishadsu Dharma. Whatever essential qualities are present in that eternal essential principle, essential principle of ethics and also mental application, dharma, truth. Truth is several times. Vyavaharika is there and also Adhyatmika is there. Vyavaharika, you have to have a commitment with Shraddha and Guru Vakya, Shastreshu, Viswasa. And the other dharma is being supportive, one joining in that as oneness. We are all part of this journey. So whatever dharmas are there, whatever is prescribed to be there, te mai santu, those dharmas, those attitudes as well as results, they may be present in me. Te mai santu. Again, he repeating that importance of that. They may be in me. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 3 times. First Shanti means there should not be any adhyatmika disturbances arising from me, like cough or restlessness, lack of concentration. They should subside. Second one is Adi Bhautika, around me. Sometimes there could be some music going around, some people running around, some people might make a noise. Those things also may settle down. Adi Dhaivika, those which are related to unseen effects, which I have no control over, like thundering, earthquake, just general examples. All these three may they subside. Now, so Brahma Nirakuryam, in that word Brahma I have given briefly touched, but Vedanta Shastra says that Brahma is the essential presence in all of us. Okay, and we are that. When we remove our, I briefly mentioned that, we'll stick to that. But then in this journey, many of us have obstacles, adhyatmika. Those are summarized in one beautiful sloka, which I like to bring to your attention now. Prajnanandhyam kutarkasya viparyaya duragraha vishayasakti jnane pratibandhaka. These are all, for knowledge, there are 5 pratibandhakas. So earlier I said avarana, vikshepa and mala. These are there. But suppose you have made certain degree of progress and you came to the class and were able to sit and were able to enjoy the class. That means you are ready. But at the same time, it does not guarantee the effect because your mind is still there. That is why same Vedas, different people have given different commentaries. Comprehensive, everybody think it's comprehensive. They are all very great souls. But ultimate mimamsa or analysis is where it is said everything is within oneness, and that is you. That is Bhagavan Shankaracharya asked Yukti, Shastra Pramana, Anubhuti. Not only that, he has proved many others who thought differently because they, out of their own limitations, they have come to conclusions which is short of that. And what is the reason they were short of it? Because prajnanandhyam. They do not have a comprehensive ability to see the whole picture. And then wherever they stop, and that's how they projected, that's all the messages. And then justified it because others were able to listen, people around him. They're inspired also, many of them. It happens to us also. When you're in the class, at one point, suddenly you say, I know everything. It happens. And then you start following after that. Then slowly, your worldliness takes over. We are not ready to drop karma or we are upasana. We should not drop any of because we need to polish. We need to revel and we need to own it. It does not happen just overnight, but suddenly our mind says, I know everything. My guru taught me for 25 years. That's fine. We appreciate it. But it may be okay for you, but it's not necessarily true. That silence of being and aware has to be completely, perfectly your state of existence. And you should know world rises in you and it is different from you. You are a Sakshi, including your body because it's a part of Jagat. That happens when you expand to you. And there's no difference between you and the Sakshi of the cosmos. And there's no cosmos as such other than in your consciousness. Without you, there is no world. Without you, there is no mind. Without your mind, there is no space. Without your moon, there is no world. There is no wife. There is no children. They all arise in your consciousness. Consciousness is primordial principle that gives existence, that gives definition of you. That is Brahman. So now you stop anything short because prajnanandhyam. You think, oh, I listened to this, I understood it, that's it. It doesn't work like that. Prajnanandhyam. Shastra is cautioning you, don't think you know everything. Never think that. Really, revel in self. Whatever you know, revel in the class. Establish. Sure, it's a lot of change has taken in many of you. I know that, including me. So prajnanandhyam, number one. Kutarkascha. Second defect. This stops knowledge taking place. Kutarka means stupid logic. Oh, I heard all this. I know all this. That is one way, that prajnanandhyam. Kutarka means you viparita bhavana. Shastra is telling you, in your consciousness, the body rising, without you, the body has no existence. And the body is not part of the world, so Jagat doesn't exist without you. So whole Jagat is not really an independent entity. That's what Shastra says. But Kutarkasya, you suddenly say, same question, keep on asking every class. But you never reflect. You never meditate. How about my wife? How about my family? How about... But these are all in your thoughts. Thoughts are not you. So, but you never, 10 times teacher teaches, but still the same Kutarka comes out. My vasanas have formed all these. Oh, sure, they are formed all this time, but you are sustaining them. No. Again, same question appears next class also. Because the person has done any independent thinking. So, kutarka. Same question he asks. Every person that he meets, every guru, same question repeats. I met some people 30 years ago, same question, same thing question. When I was president of Chandogya Mission Tri-State Center, we used to have study classes. About 2 years ago, they invited for things. So a person asked the same question he was asking 30 years ago. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. That's all you can say. But you have to go. Don't fall the trap. Kutarkascha. Viparyaya duragraha. Viparyaya means viparita bhavana. Teacher tells you, your consciousness. Consciousness is first. Without consciousness, your mind doesn't have a presence, your thoughts don't have presence, your body has no presence. But you would refuse to give benefit of doubt. You keep saying, my body first, in my body, my mind is there, in my mind, consciousness is there. This is what scientists do all the time. So they will never get out of the body. They're logical, but that logic is false because they never investigated it. Now many scientists are changing their mind. Vedanta says consciousness is first. Experience, feel. And it is in free. It doesn't have to be associated with the body to say I am the body. Even if it doesn't say associated with the body, it is still free. So viparjaya is you associate it and then only you discuss. You can never get out of that. Vedanta says don't associate. But you keep on associating and arguing. Duragraha. Duragraha means reactive state, nature. Even Guru, he doesn't know anything. He talks too much. It's okay, but you have to listen. It takes some time. I will tell you a small story here. One Mahatma, our Gurudev, studied under Swami Tapon Maharaj. He's shown here, Swami Tapon Maharaj picture is there. He's a greatest saint of saints. In those days also, in his 30s, 40s, 50s, In Upanayas, Himalayas, around the age of 25, he went to Himalayas and never returned. He is born in Silver Spoon. He's a Zamindari family. Around 20 years, 25 years after in basic families, his family means his brothers and sisters. His father passed away at early age. So he went in Himalayas. Since childhood, he was spiritual and he never came down. So he had students and he was a very strict teacher. So he had a handful of students because he was Upanishad only in Sanskrit. And also he would say, I will teach only once. By tomorrow you have to be ready. And if you have any questions, ask now. Otherwise tomorrow you cannot. Like that he was. On once Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda was meticulously organized and brilliant. So he used to hang in there. And very disciplined also. Many of the students they drop out after few months because they don't have the necessary mental frame to surrender because of duragraha. So there was an incident that happened because Swami Tapon Maharaj is a great saint. People used to bring sweets, and some because when they used to bring people Mahatmas, when they give offer to Mahatmas, they remove many of the doshas in our life, past lives will be removed. And there's a belief, and I agree with that. So Mahatmas, because of their contact and the grace. So one devotee came and gave some sweets. And then Swamiji Tapon Maharaj said that, called one of the students and said, okay, we had a very small room. I've been there 3-4 times during camps in Uttarakashi. And the room itself is probably about 10 by 10. Small bed is there and then a little bit of a place to put some water mug is there. Some pictures are there and the small veranda is there outside. And so he told him, okay, there's a small attic there also. He put these on the top of the attic. So then the students were obviously the brahmacharis, and they're also leading a very disciplined, strict life. So, so one of the students was hoping for the sweets every day, and they were not coming. After 1 week, he became impatient. He said, this Swami is not all that great. He is eating all the sweets inside, and this is just too much. He's not sharing even sweets. And he left. And one of the senior devotees who's laying, he told him, no, don't leave. He is texting you. He's testing you. Indra Nigraha is testing you. Do not leave just like that. He waited every day. He was expecting. Finally, lost patience, and then he got agraha. Duragraha means negative anger, destructive anger. And then he left. After a few more days, Tapon Maharaj called one of the other students and said, go and get that sweet packet. And he brought it. It's not even opened. He said, throw it into the Ganges. It's not anymore as important for him. Swami Chinmayananda happily threw it. So basically, duragraha means wrong temperament at wrong time, destructive knowledge doesn't play. Vishayasakti. Too much interest in objective world. It's counterproductive because you're repeating the same thing. And then Vishaya means objective world, thoughts, people, situations. And you keep on grinding the same thing. Then the mala gets stronger. Viparya bhava will not go. Ityete jnane pratibandhakaha. Prajnanandam kutarkasya viparya duragraha vishayasakti ritya. 5 of them. Primarily, these are the causes. we we learned a lot, but at the same time we cannot continue sustain the teaching because we don't meditate, we don't own it. We tend to learn it in the class, have a sense of connection in the class. Then when the teacher communicates that you please revel in it, we have somehow ignored that important aspect. Continue to revel in our habits, continue to revel in our fascias. At least dedicate some time in the prayer room, minimum. Have a choice between every two thoughts, there is a silence. Unnecessarily don't only indulge in thoughts, just silence. Continue that as long as you can. It will help you to sustain knowledge. It liberates you from thoughts. So this is extremely important. So Brahma, we did the uh, Shantipatha. Shantipatha has four aspects in it. It invokes the grace of God, and it also invokes that this body should be fine. It also says I have the necessary requirements to have the successful journey, and also it prays to God that may He not reject me, and may I also not reject by following into these traps. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Okay,